Mark Ingall, standing for Bush Fair, standing for county, defending your council. Would you explain where we are and why you've chosen here?
Well, we're at the back of Pear Tree Mead, and around me are some of the 5,000 trees that we planted the winter before last, the last time we were allowed to do community planting. And for me, this is what local government is all about. It's about working with the community to deliver the priorities of that community.
It finds it hard to believe it was like 14, 15 months ago we're here. It's been a long time, hasn't it? How do you feel the council have performed in respect of the pandemic?
I think we've performed extremely well. We were one of the first councils to set up a community hub to supervise volunteering and to coordinate volunteering to deliver food parcels and pharmaceuticals to those that needed it. We've delivered something like 98% of all the government grants that have come to Harlow to be distributed, and we've done that faster than some of our surrounding councils, and we've done it without mistakes. There are other councils which were faster than us who are now having to go back to businesses and say, we need the money back.
Do you take on board the Conservative criticism regarding the business grants? At all?
I think it's unfortunate that there are some businesses that have slipped through the cracks. But there are 3 million businesses and they're across the country. So to try and look at the government's failings to cover everybody and look at Harlow in isolation or away from that is just nonsense on their part.
Let's go back to Bush Fair, your ward. Do you enjoy being a councillor? Have you enjoyed being a councillor of Bush Fair? And what is it you've enjoyed about your particular ward?
Mark, I've really enjoyed being a councillor, and I'm proud to have represented the people of Bush Fair for 5 years. The things that I like doing are working with the community. So around us we have some of the 5,000 trees planted with the community. Across the road in near William Martin School there's a raised platform zebra crossing delivered when I worked with parents to deliver a petition which we took to Westminster. There's further down the road there's a new zebra crossing that was installed after a campaign that I worked with the residents of Fountains Farm, Too Old to Run, Too Young to Die, and I've met regularly with the residents associations at Fountains Farm, at Nextwell Berry Farm, at Manor Hatch Close, and with Waterhouse Moor, listening to the concerns that residents have and trying to address them. And look, even things like bringing the community back into the heart of the Bush Fair shopping centre through our Bush Fair fair, and I've been a major driver of that, and putting up the Christmas tree, donated by Waterhouse Moor Residents Association, but physically put up and decorated by me, and getting the choirs from William Martin School and Pear Tree Mead School to come down and sing carols there, waiting for Father Christmas to come and turn on the lights. It's about involving yourself with the community, caring for that community, listening for the community, and delivering for the community.
Okay, that's Bush Fair dealt with. But can I ask you, can I reflect upon that? When it comes to the whole town, am I wrong? Sometimes I think you've got a record to defend or to promote or be proud of. You could go from Icon Industrial, Public Health England, Junction 7A, Harlow Gilston, Harlow Hospital, all the Science Park. I don't get the feel that you've really promoted that. You've been a part of that. Do you feel you've missed a trick there?
Well, I'm trying to promote the things that we're doing now and the things that matter on a day-to-day basis to Harlow residents. So, for example, in the last 6 months, we've delivered 62 new council properties, and we have a backlog of, we have a waiting list of some 4,500. We need to do more. But let's contrast that with what the Conservatives have done. When they were in power, they delivered no social housing. And in the last few years, the last few weeks, we learnt that they took money from a donor who profited from Terminus House. Harlow Labour are delivering good quality family homes on long-term secure tenancies. The Conservatives are profiting from the rabbit hutch slums in the sky of Terminus House.
Do you think that will, right or wrong, Do you think that is cutting through on the doorstep? You think the Boris Johnson argument that you tweet about regularly, will that cut through on Thursday when people vote, or have already voted postally?
I think the very fact that we're seeing the Conservatives desperately saying over and over again it's not cutting through tells its own story. I've been knocking on doors. People are fed up with Tory sleaze. They're fed up with dodgy donors, and they're fed up with the fact that so much of this the Conservative literature that's put through the door is simply misleading and not telling the truth.
There's a problem with the bins, not far from people around here where we are, off Trotters Road, Harlow Common. Some people thought it's like you're saying you're in control of the bins, aren't you? Everybody thinks, you might mention Viola, but everybody thinks you're in control of the bins.
We have a duty to get the best contract that we possibly can, and Veolia bid the lowest price for the contract. When it was renegotiated, it was our duty to take that up. Veolia have made a mistake in the last week or two by trying to cut their costs. We've been onto their management and made it very, very clear indeed that they are in breach of contract and they need to put it right, and I'm reassured that that's exactly what's going to happen this week.
If you do get back in and retain the council, would you want to continue to be leader?
That's not my choice, Michael. The Labour Party is a democratic organisation. Every single year the leader is chosen afresh. I've been the leader for 3 years. I think there's a lot more left to be done. I'd very much like that, but that's not for me to decide.
So you see a lot more left to be done, and we've mentioned sort of projects that are ongoing. But when you mention projects, we go to the town centre. Sometimes one feels you can't. When's that going to be done? It just feels like I know things are getting done, but are we going to be standing here in 10 years' time still talking about the town centre?
Well, I think you know as well as I do, part of the issue with the town centre is that Harlow Council owns so very little of it, and so we have to work with partnership with the private owners, many of whom have been happy to sit back and just watch the value of their property go up as land prices go up. We need to persuade them to actually start investing and start taking action to develop, and we are well on the way to that. Strawberry Star have advanced plans, and are beginning work on a redevelopment of probably a quarter of the town centre. Harlow Council has also, in a great deal for Harlow, attracted £45 million worth of investment to go with the £5 million that we've put up in order to kick-start various projects around the town centre.
You're not a man who's backwards and coming forwards. You have a very distinctive style. Do you think your style needs to be more conciliatory towards things like the Conservatives or Robert Halvan? Are you working in partnership with everybody in the best way you could? I work in partnership with the Conservatives in Essex County Council, but I won't tolerate the fact that they have let us down with the potholes in Harlow. I work cooperatively with Conservatives in East Herts, in Uttlesford and in Epping. What I cannot put up with is attempts by Robert Halfon and Harlow's Conservatives, and they are very guilty of this, particularly in this election, of misleading Harlow residents. It's wrong, they shouldn't do it, they're taking their lead from Boris Johnson and they need to stop. But finally, if you get returned on Friday morning, does Harlow have a bright future? Harlow has a fantastic future. I'm not Harlow born and bred. I chose to come and live in Harlow in 2009 because I loved the green spaces, I loved the facilities that were available, and I think we're going to build on those and improve on those.